Good day, my name is Jim McLaren. Today is Friday, April the 12th, 2019. Today we look at my mouse, the G500s, Logitech G500s, and what happened to it. This is original wire on it, connector here. It's all frayed, and was playing a game and wasn't moving, so the wire was loose. So I actually replaced the wire in this. I did a video of it, and then was on my SD card, and I got corrupt files on the SD card now, and now I can't find them. So I'm gonna have to go back to where I got my phone and see if I can get some software to retrieve those files. Anyway, I'm gonna show you how I did it, and it's already, the new cable's already in here. I'm gonna show you how I did it, and just so you know how to do it. It's not overly hard, but it's time consuming. The worst part is taking this cable back in. This is the problem, because you can't get at it. This is the connector that goes on the board, and you gotta pry this off, and you see the very end of it here. It's only goes in one way. But it's hard to get off because it's jammed in there, and you're going to have to pry back and forth like this, like this. That's the hardest part to get out, is this here piece. And the other hard part to get out is the ribbon cable. To put the ribbon cable back, I'll show you that once we get inside the mouse. Now, the tools you're going to need is, I got my Vera screwdrivers. These things are so handy. So this is just a flathead screwdriver. And this is there's two Phillips. One is a 00, and the other one is 00. So you can see them 00 on 0. Very small Phillips screwdrivers. And you're gonna need other stuff like tweezers here. These tweezers are very flimsy. You should get yourself good tweezers. These are just to pull stuff and help you pry stuff. This has got like a hook on the end of it, help you pry stuff off. And this little plastic thing here, you can snap that off when you're taking your mouse apart. You get it in there. It's like a clip, and then you open your mouse. So those are the tools you'll probably need. You may need different tools. Anyway, the first thing you got to do is this cable I bought off Amazon, and I bought $25. And it replaces the G500s. Make sure you get the right model numbers. There's several different ones. They have replacement pads, which I've ordered. I just stuck these pads back on. They're just on there loose. These are the pads that cover all the screws. There's 5 screws inside this thing. First thing you gotta do is, I don't have my weights in here. Just flip this and take your weights. That'll fall out. Your weights will inside this little red thing here. Your weights will come out of there. And there's 5 screws in here, so there's even one here. That's the label. It used to be you can see a little plus thing. That's where the screw is, actually. Then you have to remove these plastic things. Now you just use a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver. Now there's actually 2 layers, and there's little grooves. I can see the little groove in here. There's actually 2 layers. You got to get underneath both, and just put it in there, and then flip it up, and there's actually 2. See, there's one. The first time I took it off, I only got the top part. There's 2. So there's 2. There's 2 of these things on here. So make sure you get both of them at the same time. Same with this, right on the side here. You can see it here. Just get your screwdriver underneath there. Like I said, I already take this apart, and then so it's easy for me. You're gonna have to pry a little bit. It's not that hard. And the one right here, and you just put your screwdriver underneath there and just pull that rubber pad off there. It's sticky. I wouldn't reuse it. You could probably reuse them if you want. I just bought new ones. I mean, trouble buying glue and get the right type of glue. And now the other one is right underneath here. The other screw right here. I've seen videos where the guy took the 4 screws out and he couldn't get the 5th one. The 5th one is here. That's the hard one to get. Now get yourself a box, put all these screws in. They're extremely small, and you don't want to over tighten them when you're putting them back in. And they're extremely small, so get yourself something to hold all these screws in. So we'll start taking them apart there. This one's recessed way down the bottom here. So this one maybe. There's two in the bottom here. They're extremely small. Should have a magnetic screwdriver, would be easier, I think. Third one's here. Fourth one's up here. Now, when you take this apart, there's going to be a ribbon cable in here. And so don't pry off your mouse and just try to, pull it off. And then there's a ribbon cable that hooks up to the lights on here. So when you take it apart, pick it apart easily. So all 5 screws are out there though. I'm just going to slide this back here. That's where the Logitech logo was, wherever it was. I've worn this mouse out so much that that's gone. So you can order new pads for the Logitech G500s. And now you just want to pry it open here and just get it. Should be. Now again, there's a little. There, I got it. Using this thing here. This is amazing. This little thing there, you can buy it off Amazon too. Just a little plastic thing there, kind of helps you get things apart. Now, you take it apart. That ribbon cable's there, so be careful. That ribbon cable right there. Now inside here is just, to flip it over here. It's just a thing here inside here. You just flip that open. It's like a, I don't know how to describe it. You just flip it open. There, I flipped it open. You see how I flipped it open? And then that cable comes out. Now that's the hardest part to get back in now, is that. So now that part's apart. Put that off to the side. The ribbon cable is going to be the hardest thing. It'll take me 10 minutes to get that stupid thing back in. So now, we're going to start removing parts of this mouse. And this is where it holds your weights. There's 3 screws here. So there's one here, one in the bottom here, 2 in the side here, and there's small screws. I'm going to try to just separate them, leave them in the actual unit itself. Two on the side here. Oh, come off. Now it's on these posts as well, so you're gonna have to pry up a wee bit. Just take your time. Still holding it there. Well, I got big hands, so it's going to be hard for me to get that one screw. I'm just going to put it off to the side. I don't want to lose it. It's hard to see it too. And when you put it back, don't over tighten it. Just snug it up. There it is out. Now I'm just going to put the I'll just leave it here for now. Now, the next part of getting this mouse apart, there's a little, right here, you can see it. There's a little, it's like a, I don't know what you call it. This holds the mouse in here. There's a bracket here. Sorry, there's a bracket here, and this folds down, and there's a little groove here. Now it just pulls it out, slides it off, and then it releases the mouse button. And it just, I'll show you in the picture here in a second here. So that's what that little bracket looks like. So you just got to slide it out, and you can see it here or not. So turn it up and just pull the whole thing out. It's hard to get at here. Let me pause a second. So I just put my screwdriver in there and just pull it about out. There's that plastic piece. Fell down inside there. So that's what that looks like. Just like a counter pin that holds that in there. Now your wheel is loose now, and in the front here there's a little catch that the wheel folds under. I'll show you a picture. So the wheel connects underneath that little metal clip there, and then so you have to pull it up like this to get it out. So that just really just comes back out now. Like that. So I'm trying to show you this. So a little clip here, that's where the wheel goes underneath, and then it falls into that bracket here, and that's where it sits. So I got the wheel out now. Just take a look at the wheel for a second here. So there's no dirt in mine. It was just the cord was badly just a bad cord. So now we're going to take this bracket out here. There's two screws in here. One here, one here, and one here. And the bracket, the screws face going to the front of the mouse now. And these are very small screws. They're actually inside here. That's not them there. That's not the screws there. The screws are inside here. Now I'm using my smallest bear, the 00, and just loosen this up. It's hard to see, everything is black. So that's the bridge that holds that wheel in there. So there's that counter pin, fits underneath the, I don't love these screws, they're so small, my God. Take your time, this is not a rush job. I think it's loose now. No. I'm just going to leave the screws in there. Put that off to the side here. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Now there's another clip right here. Now underneath here, you got springs in here. I don't see my springs anymore. You got two springs, one in here and one in here. And I lost one of the springs. Obviously I've taken, oh, there's a spring right here. That's the spring. That is, so I dropped mine, one of them, it fell, I found it on the floor, went to pick it up, and then dang, it's gone again. So I only got one spring in there. So I'm just going to put it in here. So when you take this part of it off, there's going to be two springs in here, right inside these two holes here, right inside, right here and right here. So those springs, that's for the middle button, and then I don't use the middle button that much. So anyway, I don't know if you can get springs off Amazon or not. That's where those two springs go. So when you take the wheel off, those springs are going to be gone. So be careful when you take that off. And then those springs are right there, very small. And then what I used, the first time I used it, I just used these tweezers, grabbed the spring and put them in there. So now there's that metal piece that holds your wheel down. We're going to use the smallest one here. There's two little clips in here. And I'm going to switch it off here. Be very careful. This is these screws are so small. My God. I should have a magnetic screwdriver. Should magnetize this thing. It's hard to get at. This one's still not loose. There. Now, I don't know if you can see this. Extremely small. That's a clip. No, your wheel clips underneath that little spring, that little groove there. Now, the hard part. You're going to have to take this whole assembly apart. And I've got the new mouse in here, the new cable in here. And there's two screws you got to take out. And there's a plastic thing in here. See this little plastic thing here? Now that goes in between the two boards here. The board is actually one piece. And you're going to have to pry this open. So there's two screws here. I'm going to take it apart, and just to show you, I hate to take it apart because it's so hard to get back in here. Anyway, we'll take it apart. There's one screw right here, right by the ribbon cable. Take that off. I had it. There's how small that screw is. And the other one is located inside here. You can just get your screwdriver. It's way inside here. Way in the back here. You just get your screwdriver in there. Just enough room to get your screwdriver in here. Got it. I hate to lose those screws. Now, you're going to have to pry this up, and there's a couple places you can pry. Right beside the this here cable here, right here, there's a post. So you can try to pry it up here, right here. So you move it up here. And in the front of the mouse, you can get underneath here, right here, and pry it up here. Now, see this plastic piece here? That's going to come out. So you keep an eye on that, don't lose that. So that goes into two posts here, and then it goes in the top of this thing here. There's little posts here on either side of this thing. That's how it goes back in. So you're going to pry it up here. See if you can get it out. Just to show you, I hate doing this part again, but once you get it started, it's almost out here now. There's that plastic piece. So grab that before we lose it. So you see there's 2 holes in the bottom of this plastic thing. You can see it there, 2 holes. There's 2 posts on the top. That's got to go back in between the two boards here. It's almost out here. Come on, baby. Still something holding it here. So come on, get out. There. Now, something's holding it here. I'll just, so I'll take the thing out to show you here. So, the other thing you're going to have, because I already changed this, don't forget. So the other thing that happens right in here, this is where your mouse wire goes. So it goes in here, and it goes out here. There's some remnants of glue there. You see the glue right here? Some remnants of glue here. So it's actually glued in there, an original mouse. So it's glued in there. So to take the old one off, you're going to have to pry up in that glue to take that thing off. To go around the post here. So now, the very difficult part, I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm not taking it apart. It's so hard to do. Is to get this little piece off here. And don't touch that little lens there. Now, the best way to do it is just get yourself a small flathead screwdriver. And just keep prying at both sides here. Like, sorry, not in the camera, sorry. Keep prying it, just keep prying like this, back and forth, back and forth. And you can even use tweezers, maybe, just to pry it off here. Get those tweezers in there. And maybe even use this. It's all up to you. Like, I can get in this plastic and then kind of pry it open. That's going to be the hardest thing. That took me 10 minutes to get that stupid thing off in there. Now, the other thing is, too, this, you see in the end of this? Now, that's all that's connected, these 2 pieces together. Plus that plastic piece. These 2 things, I think you might be able to pry these. Maybe these are pins that go into there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Right there. I think you might be able to pry that off. I don't know. I want to take a chance, so just take your time and take that plastic thing off here. And just wiggle it back and forth. Get your screwdriver in there and just, not that one, but a flathead, even a smaller one than this one. And just wiggle it back and forth and take your time, you'll get it out of there. Now, it only goes one way. You can see the wires here. The green wires on the inside. It only goes one way. So it goes in like this. That's what you're going to have to pry off here. It's right here. That little, keep prying that right here. Pry that back off, back off, back off. And that's how you have to do it. Takes you a while to do it, and then there was a right cord that I ordered on Amazon. Make sure you get the right cord for your mouse. There's different mice. Different cords for different mice. So that's part 1. I'm going to upload this now because I lost the other part. Both parts that I did yesterday, and very frustrating to do a video and then lose it on your SD card because it's corrupt files wherever the problem is. So I'll put the mouse back together, and we'll see you in the next video, part A of 2, part B coming up. Thanks to all my subscribers, all my new subscribers, and if you watched this the first time today, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for part B.